Hey everyone, it's your TA here, and I just want to walk you through the program Slack. You'll be using it a lot for your class, and you might even be able to use it for other courses as well outside of Intro to Engineering. I personally like to use it a lot. I think it's the best program when it comes to working in a team. You can send files back and forth really easily inside of it, as well as, it's pretty rapid messaging. There's a desktop app. There's a phone app. It works even if you don't have cell phone reception. Some of the basements in the library on campus don't have reception, and it's completely free to use. So I'm just going to walk you through some of the features here. And so first of all, you can go to slack.com to access it on the web, and you can also do a desktop download here. I think you can also find it in the Windows Store if you have a Windows. I assume there's an Apple Store. I really don't know that much about Apple, but it's easy to try for free, and there's also a sign-in option. So we're going to go to that, and I actually tried doing a video a couple minutes ago with my ASU account. I ran into a problem I'll walk you through, so I'm instead just going to use my own personal email account. Please don't email me here. You can go to my ASU email, which is I'll show you. So you need to contact me. Go here. But the problem I ran into is I actually wasn't able to create a new workspace with my ASU email. It required a administrator role, which I don't have within the university. So you can, instead of you're looking to create a work space for, let's say, like your chemistry lab group or a physics lab group, or even an alternate one for your intro to engineering lab group, you can use your own personal one. Again, it's free to use. Let's see, there's S's and there might be 5s in here. Let me try this again. So it goes right to your email. Let's see if this one works. There we go. A lot of ambiguous characters. So once you sign in, it's going to show you if you've been in past ones or past Slacks. They'll show up here. So as you can see, this was a conference I went to. This was my senior lab group, or maybe my junior lab. This was a project I had in an elective. Here was my senior lab, another organization. That was my epics group. There's a Barrett one. There was another elective I did last semester. See all kinds of workspaces. I've used it a lot. And so if you want to sign into one, you can go here. But if you want to create a workspace, you're going to go down and create a new workspace. And the first thing it's going to do is going to prompt you for your email again. And it's going to give me another confirmation code. So I'll put that back in. And I don't want them sending me emails about Slack. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And so we're going to get another code here. Hopefully you don't get any zeros or /O's again, because those really throw me off. There we go, a lot easier. So there's the code. And then it's going to go. It's going to take a minute to load. And then you're going to come up with a name. So, you could do your engineering group. You could do something fun. So I'll go FSE 100 trial. Hopefully that's not taken. Boom, it's not. What are we working on right now? We're doing so again, you can put in like your group projects. You can do like chemistry lab for X professor, or engineering project, put in your team name here. I'm just going to do, we're introducing Slack. You can always edit these later too. I actually haven't seen this before. Oh, there we go. So it's just you can invite people. So let's say I wanted to invite my alternate account. I'll actually do that. So there we go. So you can invite in your team members. You can also get a shareable invite link, and then it's copied in the keyboard. Boom. So then you can send that in an email. You can skip this step entirely as well. I'm going to invite myself just because I'm feeling a little vain at the moment. And then there you go. So you're in Slack. You got a whole setup, and they've actually redone this over the summer. So I'm actually pretty excited to check this out with you. So the first thing you're going to notice is that there's a general channel and a random channel, as well as an introducing Slack channel. Again, I haven't seen that before. I wonder if I can delete that. Oh, you can just leave it. So really, let me break down Slack for you. So the first thing you're going to notice is this is called the sidebar area. And you're going to see 3 main areas. There's a browse Slack. Again, that's kind of new. I don't know what's in there. I don't really go into that. You can just kind of see a overall layout. But here you're going to have channels. So you can think of these as almost like a forum page, or discussion board, things like that. So messages are just going to kind of line up here. So I could do message, and I'll copy that. 1, message 2, and whatever, message 3, message 4, and these will all just kind of go there. And so you see the messages piling up, and you also see who's joined the channel. And so what's cool about this is that, well, let's say, I want to go back and edit this. Let's say you're in a chemistry lab group and you go, the temperature reading was 98 degrees Fahrenheit. And then let's say, I write that in, and then I'm double checking my message or my measurements, and oh no, it was actually 89 degrees. I goofed and wrote 98, and I want to change that. I can then go here to the 3 dots on the side, which gives you a bunch of different options. You can see you can unfollow the message so you won't get notifications. I'll talk about notifications in a second. You can copy the link to it, so if you want to send a link to somebody for that message specifically, you can do that. You can mark unread, it'll go back through. You can set a reminder, which is also pretty cool, in 20 minutes, an hour. So let's say an assignment due, you can remind your teammates. You can remind yourself about it in an hour. You can pin it, which I'll talk about in a second. Then you can also edit it as well as delete it. So again, I wrote it was 98, and let's say your reading was actually 89. I can edit that, and then boom, it's right there. Correct it. Now, let's say I want to, we'll look for a couple other things. So you have reactions, which are basically little emojis or pictures. And there's a lot you can go through. And you can also search there, so I'll just give a thumbs up, like, yes, I do agree with message 1. But let's say I'm feeling a little angry about message, because it's supposed to be message 2. I can write, did you mean message 2? And so then you can start a whole thread here, and it's basically a discussion about that. And so you can see right there, it's nice and concise. So the nice thing about replying to a message individually rather than just keep going in the general thread or in the general channel is that it'll keep this from getting cluttered up. So you can reply in here to keep things concise, and you can also share this message. So let's say message 3 is in the general thread, but I want to also throw it into the random one for whatever reason. Then I can do that and say, I felt like doing this, or whatever your message is. And this can come in handy in a couple of different instances. Where I might be able to use this is, let's say I'm in your FSC 100 Slack, and I post a message in the general channel, and I want to share this with individual teams as well. I could do something like that. So again, your 3 big options on any given message are to react to it, which could be nice just to make sure you've seen things. So for example, my senior design group, I uploaded reactions, which you can do if you go over here, and you can do it online. It's being a little slow. Well, you can go down here, or actually I think the option is more in the settings, which we'll get to in a second. But I basically uploaded a picture of initials for everybody, so then everybody could react to messages with their initials, so everybody on the team saw it. You can reply, and then you can share. And then let's say you're going to save this. You can see I added it to the saved items in here, and you go over to the sidebar here. You can see all the items you saved. So this can be useful if you're, let's say, working on a Google Doc, or you have a website that your team's referencing a lot. You can say that right there and then have easy access. And then you have further options over here. You can copy it, unread it. We went through all those. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is direct messages. So you can see over here, to yourself might be one of the most useful things. So I know a lot of the things that I'll do are like send files to myself. So let's say, I want to take a picture of my experiment on my phone. And then if I want to, just get it really quickly, I can just Slack it right over to myself, and then I also have it in the Slack for easy references. You can also do reminders. So I think there's a remind. Yeah, so here you go. So if you press in the, I think that's a /, there's a lot of different things you can do. So you can add apps, you can set away. You can basically just go through a lot of these, but one of the most useful ones that I've ever used is remind. And so you can set a reminder, and it's a pain to go through. I'm not going to go through it because I always mess up. But give it a couple tries, you'll figure it out. You can either remind yourself, you can set a whole reminder to a channel, and then what it is and when. So again, I think the most useful, the biggest use you'll have for it will be for deadlines. So if you want to set a reminder that in 2 weeks from now your final report's due, you can send that in and remind a couple days before, or like an hour before if you're feeling a little dangerous. So don't be afraid to take advantage of this. And so you can also message your teammates one-on-one. So, hey, join the Slack buddy, or whatever you want to say. You can talk about your teammates behind the back to one another if you're feeling a little frisky, or, say, hey, can you send me those measurements again? Or if you want to talk to somebody privately and don't want to call them out in the general channel, that could be really useful, especially if you're trying to avoid workplace drama. You can call somebody out one-on-one. You also see add teammates, so you can do it right here. And then the other thing you should be able to do, I want to talk about in the general channels before we move on to anything else, is you'll see down here there's a couple different options for text. They're always working on this. But there's one thing in particular, I think they must have moved it. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Is it up here? No, it's not up here. There should be a way to make a post. Over there it is. So you can also create a post. So this is going to be different than a message in a couple ways. First of all, a post is going to be easier to edit, and you can also make it bigger. So the biggest thing I like to do, and I've done this again for lab reports, is a lab report to-do list. And then you can do things like bullets. There's a lot of different shortcuts you can play around here with. So I can say Sam has to, copy measurements. Robert, let's say, write materials and methods. Let's say Hunter has to write the discussion. And then let's say Monique, has to write the introduction. And so you can do like a to-do list here. And then you can share it. Let's see, what are more options? Yeah, there we go. So you can share it, and you can show the channel. So example, post, and then you hit share. And then let's check back. And we got a whole Slack bot. We'll talk about Slack bot. And here's your whole post in here. So then if I click on it, it'll show you an expanded version. Again, if you have something longer, it'll show here. But then the big thing you do is edit in the new window. And so again, I think this is most useful for knocking out big to-do lists and organizing. That's where I personally use it the most. I've also really liked it for brainstorming. So if you have different parts of a project you need to brainstorm, you can break that down here, like let's say area 1, and then idea 1, idea 2, so on and so forth, which you might find helpful when considering different ideas for your project. And then that brings me to Slackbot, which you can also, should be able to message one-on-one here. Let's see. Yeah, there's Slackbot. You can do a lot of things, nudges, reminders. You could check out this help center. I'm not going to go through it. I'm going to leave that to investigate you. Again, the thing I've used Slackbot for the most is just reminding myself about things. I'm actually going to run out of time pretty soon, so I'm going to end this part of the Slack right here, but I have a couple more things to talk about in the next video. And I don't think this would be a YouTube tutorial if I didn't tell you to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share it. But really, share this with any friends you might have, or you might think that might find it helpful. And you can leave comments below if you have any questions.